What's up, Bears Nation? Buckle up because there's a lot to unpack today. The offseason might feel like a slow burn, but trust me, under the surface, things are heating up big time. The buzz around Halas Hall is getting louder, especially when it comes to the running back situation. And yeah, there's a name that's been floating around that's turning some heads. Breece Hall. Now, before you roll your eyes and say it's just another offseason rumor, let me walk you through why this is way more than just talk. So here's the deal. The Bears didn't go after a running back until super late in the draft. We're talking 7th round late, and that opened the floodgates of speculation. Why wait so long to address a position that's clearly still got question marks? That's the puzzle. And the second piece of that puzzle? Breece Hall's current situation with his team. Look, he's a baller, no doubt. But word is he's not thrilled about the direction his team is heading, especially with the way they're running their offense. It's becoming more of a committee-style setup, and let's be real, no top-tier back wants to share the spotlight if he feels like he can carry the load on his own. If the Bears were to make a move for a guy like Breece Hall, it wouldn't just be a depth play. No way. He'd walk in and instantly become the lead guy in the backfield, not just a complimentary piece. We're talking about a true workhorse who could bring balance to this offense and take pressure off the quarterback. It's the kind of move that could elevate the entire unit. And let's not forget, Hall's got 1 year left on his rookie deal. That adds a layer of complexity to the whole thing. Do you trade for him and risk losing him in free agency? Or do you make the move and immediately start talking contract extension? There's no easy answer, but you can bet the front office is thinking about it. Now, let's talk value. When we saw that 4th round pick get added to next year's draft stash, it raised some eyebrows. Not because of what it is, but because of what it could be. A future 4th rounder might just be the kind of asset a team like Hall's would consider if they're open to dealing him. But that's the line you have to walk. Is he worth a day 2 pick? Maybe, but that's a gamble, especially when you consider how running backs are being valued around the league right now. The position just isn't getting the same love it used to. Even a guy like Hall, who's got legitimate talent, might not fetch more than a 4th rounder, given the short shelf life of most backs. What makes this even more interesting is the current state of the Bears running back room. Yeah, you've got guys who can fill in and give you solid reps, but do you feel confident going into week 1 with that group? If the answer is no, and for many fans it is, then you gotta start exploring options. That doesn't mean going out and blowing everything up. It means being smart, being calculated, and staying aggressive. There's a difference between panic and preparation. And right now, the Bears need to prepare like they're one piece away from making serious noise in the NFC. One thing I keep going back to is the way Hall impacts 3rd down situations. He's not just a straight line runner. His pass catching ability makes him a weapon in obvious passing downs, which adds a whole new layer to your playbook. You're not just getting a guy who can run between the tackles, you're getting someone who can motion out wide, who can give you matchup nightmares against linebackers, who can be a real factor in the screen game. That's valuable in today's league. That's what separates a good offense from a dangerous one. Of course, there's the argument to be made that the Bears could just stick with what they've got. And yeah, technically, they could go into the season with the current group. They could cobble together a rushing attack with committee-style touches and hope for the best. But is that really the standard now? Is good enough good enough? I don't think so. Not with the talent you've got at quarterback. Not with the weapons you've added in the passing game. This team is trying to turn the corner. And if that's the mission, then you don't sit back and hope it all works out. You take control of the narrative. Now let's shift the lens a bit. Before and during the draft, there was chatter that some teams were willing to deal guys like Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, even Kenneth Walker under the right circumstances. None of those rumors turned into real deals, but that doesn't mean the conversations didn't happen. Sometimes the groundwork gets laid during draft week, and the actual moves come weeks later. Timing is everything in this league. And if a guy like Breece Hall becomes available, you can bet teams will circle back around and ask the question, what's it going to take? The Bears front office is under a microscope right now. That's no secret. Every move they make or don't make gets dissected from every angle. And let me tell you, the pressure is real. You're not just building for the future anymore. You're trying to win now while still developing your core. That's a tightrope walk. So making a big move for a skill player like Hall has to be more than a splash. It has to make strategic sense. It has to fit the long-term vision, or else you're just chasing headlines. Let's not forget how last season ended. Expectations were high and things didn't quite go according to plan. Hall was good but not dominant. He flashed, especially as a pass catcher, but he didn't completely take over games the way some had hoped. That's part of why his value is where it is. He's talented, no question, but is he elite? That's still up for debate. And that's the kind of thing a front office has to weigh when considering giving up assets for a guy in the final year of a rookie deal. Meanwhile, in the background of all this running back talk, there's been some subtle tension between executives around the league. One exec from a rival team took a little jab at the Bears roster construction recently. Nothing outrageous, but enough to stir up some headlines. The media loves that stuff, obviously, and it got fans talking about whether or not this team really has the weapons it needs to support its quarterback. Some people say yes, others still have doubts, but that's the nature of this league. You're always one game away from being labeled a contender or a pretender. There was a similar conversation years ago about Josh Allen. Remember when people questioned whether he had enough help around him? Fast forward, and now people are asking the same thing about the Bears. History has a funny way of repeating itself. Sometimes you don't realize you're on the verge of building something great until you're already in the middle of it. The front office seems to think they're close, that they've assembled the right pieces. But you always need that one. Our guy to put you over the top. Maybe Breece Hall is that guy, or maybe it's someone else entirely. But the question remains, are you willing to make the move when the opportunity presents itself? And that's not even getting into the draft chaos. The Bears tried, really tried, to trade up for a back like Ashton Jeanty, but it didn't come together. In the second round, two of their top targets at running back, Quinshon Judkins and Trey Benson, were snatched up just before their pick. Same thing happened in the fourth. They had their eyes on a couple of guys, but when your pick is one slot too late, that's just how the board breaks sometimes. It's frustrating, and it's easy to second guess. But it's also a reminder that sometimes the draft doesn't go your way, and you've got to be ready with plan B, plan C, and maybe even plan D. And let's talk about Jawan Taylor for a second. There's still some uncertainty about how he'll be used. Could he transition to edge? Can Gervon Dexter step up in that role? It's hard to say right now. This draft was supposed to be an opportunity to solidify that position, but they went with Luther Burden instead. Now, I love Burden. I think he's a game-changing receiver, but that decision had ripple effects across the roster. You can't fill every need with one class, and sometimes you've got to roll the dice on upside. Still, the edge position remains a question mark, and that's something they'll have to address, whether it's through development or another move down the line. And while we're at it, let's give some props to the tight end room. It finally feels like the Bears have depth at that spot. Colston Loveland is an exciting addition. If he hits anywhere near 500 yards as a rookie, this group could quietly become one of the best in the league. No, maybe not top 5 with 1 star, but 2 top 12 guys? That's real. Potential. Add Durham Smythe as your blocking specialist, and suddenly the pieces are starting to fit. It's been years since Bears fans could feel good about the tight end depth chart, but now it feels different. Now it feels like a real asset, and that's where we'll pause for now. I've still got more to unpack in the next part, including deeper draft takeaways, undrafted free agents to watch, and the ongoing debate about what positions the Bears might need to prioritize for 2026. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Jawan Taylor is the newest addition to the Chicago Bears, bringing a much-needed boost to their offensive line. The 26-year-old offensive tackle who previously played for the Jacksonville Jaguars has agreed to terms with the Bears in a move that could significantly improve the team's protection for their quarterback. Taylor, a standout player for the Jaguars, has established himself as one of the most reliable and durable tackles in the NFL. Over the past 4 seasons, he has started 62 games, showcasing his consistency and ability to dominate on the field. His move to Chicago signals the Bears' commitment to strengthening their offensive line, which has been a key area of concern in recent years. The Bears front office has made it clear that improving their offensive line is a top priority, especially given the young talent they have at quarterback. With the addition of Taylor, they are hoping to provide better protection for their signal caller, whether it be Justin Fields or another potential quarterback in the future. Taylor's ability to block both in the run game and pass protection will help create more opportunities for the Bears offense to thrive. In addition to his on-field prowess, Taylor brings leadership and experience to a relatively young Chicago offensive line. His presence will undoubtedly help the team's coaching staff as they continue to build a more formidable offensive unit. Known for his powerful blocking, Taylor has the ability to dominate defensive linemen, which will be a crucial asset for the Bears as they prepare for a highly competitive NFC North. The move is also a statement about the Bears' ambitions in the near future. With new head coach Matt Eberflus and general manager Ryan Poles focused on a rebuild, securing Taylor gives the Bears a strong building block for their offensive line moving forward. The Bears have been in search of stability along the line for some time, and the addition of Taylor could be the key to unlocking a more balanced, efficient offense. With Taylor now on the roster, the Bears are positioning themselves to be more competitive in the 2025 season. This signing is a step in the right direction as they continue to make moves to improve the team. The excitement in Chicago is palpable, as fans hope Taylor's arrival will be a turning point in a team's offensive development and overall success in the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.